Okay. All right. We can just sit around and talk about some fun stuff and take it from there, right? Tell you guys, oh gosh, well, I'm 62 years old, and I was born in North Carolina, and I have two older brothers. One's named Edward, and one's named Eugene. And then I have a younger sister, and her name's Linda. My sister Linda's 2 years younger than me. Her birthday's the 19th of September. My birthday's the 26th of September, okay? So we're almost exactly 2 years apart. Then I have a brother named Eugene. He's 4 years older than me. And then I have a brother named Edward. And Edward is 6 years older than me. And basically, Edward, his birthday's September 26th. So he's almost to the day, 3 days difference between me and him being 6 years apart, okay? Now, if you think about that, 9 months before we were all born, it was Christmas time. So all three of us were born 9 months after Christmas. So you know what the hell was going on at my house around Christmas time, right? Yeah, hey, you know exactly what was going on at my house at Christmas, huh? Because 9 months later, well, they're popping out kids, you know? So, anyway, so there was four of us kids. We were all born in North Carolina. We were all born in a little town called Bryson City, in Swain County. It's about 5, maybe 10 miles away from Cherokee, North Carolina, if you know where that is. There's a great big, huge Great Smoky Mountain National Park, and right in the middle of it, there's some privately owned land in the middle of the national park. And that's called Swain County, and that's Bryson City. And that's where we were born. We were poor Okies living believe me, up in the mountains in North Carolina. And just plain, Okies, okay, or hillbillies or whatever you want to call it. And that's what we were. And we moved to California in 1960, okay? I was born in 53. So anyway, I'm going to guess when I was about 5 years old, about probably a year before we came out to California, we're, doing the same crap we always do. And that's, Mom would run us out of the house while Dad was at work, and we'd just go out and play. Okay? And, when you're 5 years old and you got a brother that's 9 and another brother that's 11, and you're trying to tag along with them all the time, believe me, you're a pain in the ass, and they don't want you tagging along with them. I mean, usually because they don't want me telling Mom that they're smoking, or they don't want me to tell Mom they're cussing, or, it could be a million things, because that's how kids are, So a lot of time, Gene and Edward, they'd go running off, and, like I said, they were 9 and 11, and I'm like 5, so they don't want to drag me along with for their crap. So I spent a lot of time when I was 5 years old just trying to find something to do. Now, the big thing to me was we would always wait for Dad to come home, and when Dad would come home, he would take us out fishing, okay? And I really liked going fishing with my dad when we were in North Carolina. There's like little rivers and lakes all over North Carolina, and we'd go down to the rivers and try and catch some fish, and it was just like one of the coolest things that you ever did in your whole life, So, and remember now, we're hillbillies, okay? Hey, in the summertime, we weren't wearing shoes because we weren't sure when we were going to get the next shoes. So we're trying to make the shoes that we got right now last until school starts, So we're running around barefoot, man, and, in some raggedy old clothes and not looking too sharp. Anyway, we'd wait for Dad, and then we'd end up going fishing. Well, one of the things that we used to do is we used to go out and we used to collect worms, and that way when Dad came home to go fishing, we already had a whole bunch of worms, and we could go with Dad, and we'd go on down to the river, and he'd help us bait our hooks and help us do this and that, and we'd go down there and fish. And it was really a lot of fun. So we're out playing, and I'm out in back behind our house. There's like an old, like an electric company shed, where electricity comes in from these big cables and stuff, and it's fenced in. And anyway, there's a old piece of like tin out there, and I'm looking for worms, and I'm looking for worms, and it had rained like the night before or something like that. So like there's a lot of worms and a lot of night crawlers out there, So I'm out there, and I've got I'm just looking around and looking around. And I move this shed up, this piece of tin, and I throw it over, and oh my God, I've never seen so many worms in my whole life. They're all hiding under that piece of tin. I'm going, damn, I wish I'd have brought a bucket. So here I'm 5 years old, and I'm running back to the house so I can get a bucket, because I'm going to put these night crawlers in that bucket. And I'm all excited, and I'm all excited, and I'm all excited. So I go running in the house, and Mom, I need a bucket, I need a bucket, I need a bucket. And she's going, what do you need a bucket for? I found a whole bunch of night crawlers, Mom. I found a whole bunch of night crawlers. Please let me have a bucket. I said, okay. So anyway, I get the bucket, and I'm getting ready to run out of the house, and my two brothers are going, where the hell are you going? I said, man, I found a ton of night crawlers. I got to go get all these night crawlers. I got to go get all these night crawlers. So we go down there where they are, and both my brothers had brought shovels, and they brought the shovels because you dig up the dirt and space the dirt out, and you end up getting a lot more night crawlers that way, and it was really kind of fun, So we go ahead and we go down to where I found the piece of tin, and my brothers go down there. And my brothers were mean to me. I'm not kidding you. I don't care. I don't just mean when I was 5. My brothers were still mean to me last year. Hell, one of my brothers was mean to me last week. Because, they're the big brothers, and they think, they got all the rights and blah, 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 whatever the crap is. But anyway, so they're mean to me all the time. Next thing you know, them guys are taking them shovels and just swinging them and chopping my night crawlers all to pieces and chopping my night crawlers all to pieces. Man, they just chopped the hell out of my night crawlers like you can't believe it. And I'm going, damn, why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? And I run on home, and I'm crying to Mom and crying to Mom. She's got me all, it's okay, Tony, it's okay. Hey, I'm going to get them for that. I'm going to get them for being mean to you. Because, that was a regular thing there. Anyway, finally them boys come home, and my mom, she's got one of them by the ear, and she's going, why in the hell are you boys mean to him all the time? Why are you so mean to him? He's your little brother. You ought to be looking out for him. You ought to be looking out for you. And I remember, never forget this as long as I live. Edward says, Mom, what are you talking about? And he says, you guys chopped up all his night crawlers with them shovels just being mean. And Edward says, Mom, they weren't night crawlers. They were copperhead snakes. There was a mom down there, and it just had a whole bunch of little babies. They were copperhead snakes. So I'd been down there, and I turned over that piece of tin, and I'm sitting there playing with a bunch of baby copperheads, okay? And I've gone home to get a bucket. And I'm going to fill that bucket with them copperhead snakes so we can go fishing with night crawlers. I am 5 years old. So anyway, the truth is, my brothers saved my life when I was a kid. I'm lucky as hell them snakes didn't just bite the shit out of me and kill me, So Edward says, I'll never forget, I still see his little face with them big ears sticking out. He says, Mom, what are you talking about? Those weren't night crawlers. Those were copperhead snakes. There was a mama copperhead down there. It just had about 40 little babies, Anyway, hey, that's a true story, okay? I swear that really did happen. And you could ask my brother, he lives out in California. If you ask him, he would tell you, it's a true story.